Hello my friends and welcome to episode 31 of The Wanderer. Got a lot to go over since the last episode. We go to our transfer history. As you can see, Irb-Bru went to Aberdeen for 5k. Delayed that transfer by a week just to get I can't remember the name of the goalkeeper, the lad that we brought in quite early on. Is it Dean Innes? Doesn't ring a bell. Nope. Ross Evans. He picked up a knock and just was getting back up to fitness. Kieran McDonald though, out for 4 months with a broken foot from that game against Livingston, because that's always great when you're 7.5k, big money signing at that point. Gets injured for 4 months. We brought in Aaron Lennox on a free. Scouts recommended this guy. Decent championship player. It's absolute steal. Better than the goalkeeper we missed out on. Free transfer. Previous history at Rafe at this level for a number of years as a yo-yo. They were obviously a yo-yo team. Played one game for Aberdeen in the Premiership a few years ago. Other than that, it's been a sort of meh history. 115 games, 131 conceded for the Australian, who has Scottish nationality. Brought in John Scullion, again another free transfer, just a backup striker to be honest. Needed a bit more depth in attack. 5'4" doesn't really impress me much, but you know, he's decent, will offer a decent backup. We brought in Darren White, also coming from Brecon, for 10k. Again, another decent championship player. Ball winning midfielder, £230 a week, brought in for 10k worth 14.5 straight off the bat. He's decent, argued with officials, which is a bit of a problem, and gets forward whenever possible, which I don't like in a ball winning midfielder, but gonna have to go with what you're going to go with really. He's got a bit of leadership about him though, and he's the kind of player that we needed, to be honest. And I was getting a bit desperate, as you see that was done on deadline day, as well as James Jones, a deep line playmaker, again decent at championship level. 24 years old, got a bit of potential about him, valued at 30k, again on £230 a week. I'll do a solid job, hopefully. So we've spent 30.5k and brought in 31k. Finances, 318 in the kitty, looking decent. We've still got wage budget room as well, 1,300 to spend there. Was very, very close to a central attacker midfielder signing. There was one that I had on loan, the deal was done, but I didn't balance it right, so that basically I was capped at the amount of money I could offer wage wise. He was coming from the Premiership, senior player, so wasn't going to really be able to do much. So I had to put money to offer per month. Unfortunately, I just couldn't balance it in a way that the transfer budget could afford. So that deal fell through, and then there was another one, a young lad who was a 5-star ability at 18. Fortunately, we just couldn't afford him. So since the Livingston game, we drew 1-1 with Queen of the South. A 91st minute equaliser from Will Annan, getting us a point there, our only point of the season. We lost 4-1 to Morton. Christian Antianazi, have a look at his form by the way, I just want to show you. So East Fife gets a red card, suspended, not selected, sent off in the 4th minute, suspended. I'm not really sure what to make of that. It's a bit of an issue, if I'm honest. Ross Ferguson then put us 1-0 up, but the extra man made the difference in the second half as they came at us, and we just had nothing to answer with. Kieran McDonald got injured in this game. That was really a big turning point. Ended up having to play Blair Yule at left back. It did not work. We then played Dunfermline, and we're really in this game, to be honest. We're probably the better team, but they gave us a little smash and grab. Matt Wedderburn scored a penalty, which was our first shot. Jake Hasty scored a goal. That was our second shot. Only 2 shots they had in an entire match. We dominated, we just couldn't put the ball in the net, and they scored with their 2 chances. And then we lost 2-0 to Ayr. They were by far the better team in this game. There was nothing more I can say than that. And that leaves us today where we play Hibs under 20s in the Irn-Bru Cup. Feel a bit awkward bringing you an under 20s team that we're playing against, but you know, it's kind of been enforced on me. I said I would be coming back for this cup game regardless of who we were playing, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Had a team meeting before this game, changed the set piece tactics so that hopefully we can get a bit more goal for it from there and less of a goal concern. I kept forgetting to do it, so I eventually done it just before this game. I got to this record point last night. It was too late for me to record. I was a bit too tired, still very tired today, but in better shape. And that's one of the worst passes I've ever seen from Antianazi. So basically I just loaded the game up earlier on. It wasn't a suitable time for me to load, to record rather, but I thought, do you know what, I'm thinking about the game, why not go and get these set piece tactics sorted out? So I've done it. Hopefully we can see a bit of a change. That's another penalty. How many penalties are we going to concede this season? I feel that was harsh. I feel Spark was tripped up and tripped the player up in the responding sort of incident. Lennox, he's got a hand to it. It's not enough. Conceded so many penalties this season. It's very frustrating. Dyer back in the team with that injury to McDonald, of course. White, Antianazi, Critchley back in the team after his injury. Good to see him back in the squad. Jones, Antianazi, Critchley. He's lost out, but Antianazi picks up. Storming challenging on him. Jones is going to set out Willinan, and it's in at the back post, and it's Danny Redmond in there to tuck it home at the far post. It's where I'm used to seeing Jordan Critchley cropping up, but different formation, different positioning. Redmond coming in, making up the extra man in the attack. It's in the back of the net, 1-1. Just going to give it a little bit of encouragement just now. If I can hit the right button and register it, please do. Eventually it does. Crichton getting his third yellow of the season. That's a little bit worrying. That's a lot of yellows so early on, but he is a centre back, so I guess it's going to happen. Antianazi, and he's sent forward. White. It's a great save from Payton. White maybe not the man you wanted to go through. He is the ball winning midfielder who gets forward whenever possible, but that was a decent effort. Redmond whips in, comes to Critchley. That's not really where I was expecting him to put that, but it's a decent effort from Critchley. I do have 3 men on the edge of the area, so that is an option for Danny Redmond to do. Not a single man on mark there, and Danny Redmond will be a regular penalty taker. I think Monty is also up there as well, so I should always have a corner taker rather on the pitch. Redmond whips it in. Caldwell clears only as far as Crichton. He's got to whip this back in now. He does indeed to Redmond. Antianazi, it's wide from the former Aberdeen man. He's not been sent off yet, which is good. Payton launches forward towards Payton. That's not going to get confusing. You really should learn the first names. Mackey. White intercepts brilliantly. Dunbar. He's going to launch forward, and Critchley's on his bike. Jordan Critchley's in. It's another good save from Gordon Payton. How many big saves is the Aberdeen goalkeeper going to the Aberdeen Hibernian under-20s goalkeeper going to bring out? They've had a shady penalty, and they've had a number of big saves. It's going to go if you've been the better team. I'm going to go, you weren't that bad, but I've got faith in you for individual talk. See if we can get something as Payton kicks off. Dixon, Stevenson, forward for Mackey, but Dyer intercepts, and again Critchley on his bike, but he's not getting to that one as the highlight ends. Fleming with the corner. Hopefully we're a bit less frail here. It's off the line by Spark. It did look a bit less frail compared to where we've seen players getting 5 or 6 yards free at other corners this season. So as much as it wasn't working out brilliantly, it's worked out okay. Antianazi finds Danny Redmond in space. He's cut back for Jordan Critchley, and a man on loan from Rangers back in the squad for the first time in a good few games. In fact, his first competitive game since the Betfred Cup ended is in the back of the net. It's his third of the season, his first 2 against Elgin, of course. So nothing in major games. We're going to bring White off. He's tiring, and he's on a yellow for Jamie Adams. Jamie Adams obviously not quite at this level anymore, but you know, he was always brought in as a backup. At least he can now be a backup. Critchley getting forced back. Ewan Spark. Jamie Adams. Antianazi into Willinan. He's been selfish. Danny Redmond with a tap in at the far post, but Willinan puts it into the back of the net. That came from a throw in, a set piece that I've just readjusted, and you know, we just kept the ball, played it around, found space, and I eventually popped it in the back of the net when a chance popped up. We're going to bring on Omar for Annan. He's played very, very well, Annan, but let's just give him a rest. Omar again now to Spark. He's going to play it back into Omar. Is this another goal? Oh, it's another big, big chance from a throw-in. So these short throw-ins that I'm doing really working out. Redmond again to the edge of the area. Jamie Adams picks up. He's taking a pop that was offside, I would imagine anyway. The guy hit off was clearly in an offside position if you ask me. And it has been given as offside. We've got one more sub that we can make. We're going to bring on Ferguson or Monty. I'm just debating which one. We could bring on Yule as well for Jones. In fact, let's bring on Yule for Jones, because Jones doesn't have the match sharpness to recover in time for the next match, and I'd like to have him for that. So Blair Yule coming on. Prefer Richie, but you obviously being assigned player means I'm going to play him over Richie. Spark again with the throw in. Antianazi into Omar. He's lost it with sloppy play. Caldwell picks up. He's going to play it across to Mackie, and it's Rory Payton in, and Aaron Lennox with a big save. Team Talk with a big win here would be very helpful. I know would be expected to be maybe an under 20 side, but still just gets a little bit of confidence into the boys, and that's something that we really needed. That mixed with the Team Talk really should help boost. Got another throw in here as Willie Dyer takes it. Antianazi back to Dyer. Antianazi having a stormer of a game, an 8.4 in that cam position, despite not really having actually done any assist or scoring himself. So it's good to see a big performance from somebody that's not put in the goal creation or goals themselves. As Omar, I was trying to think of the word there, Omar's just been kicked down, but at Hibs Training Centre, that's an interesting name. We have won 3-1. Stuart Fleming scoring an early penalty. Danny Redmond equalising a minute later. Critchley and Annan on the score sheet in the second half. We're by far the better team. 3 goals flatters them. Their goalkeeper really kept them in it at times, particularly in the first half. 8.5 there from Christian Antianazi, responding well to the criticism that's been levied his way. And I'm not sure who we will play in the next round. We will play Forfar. I feel like I've got to come back for that, you know. It's a former team. It's a derby of sorts. He's interested in signing players. Would he get anywhere near my team? Nope. What about him? He would. I think. 82 rated. Think I am going to add him to my shortlist and keep an eye on him. He's maybe a bit older than what I would like him to be. So when is that game? That's just in that's in 4 or 5 games time. It's in a perfect position. So we're going to come back for Forfar in the Irn-Bru Cup. They're obviously the last team I managed in Scotland, the team before Pogon Sedulce, for people who are newer to the series. What a game that should be. It is technically a derby. I tried to poach a lot of their players. Failed in one that moved to Falkirk. Tried for Dylan Easton and Mark McCallum as well. Apparently Mark McCallum might be in a number 1. I can't imagine that being the case. Has he played? He's played 6 this season. Yeah, you played 1, and it was off the bench. So I'm assuming you've picked up an injury somewhere along the lines. I just couldn't get it to work. David Hopkirk, is he not their manager? I thought he was their manager. David Hopkin. Okay, never mind. So this is a team that we have left, basically. They've changed tactic wise since we last seen them. They're in a standard 4-4-2 now. Again, they were 4-2-3-1 for a while. Nice to see John McInnes breaking through. Put a lot of effort into making sure he could. Anyone else that we really done work with? Not really. Connor Murray still about. Anton Brady still there. Lewis Allen been promoted now. I'm going to say that. Let's have a look at their transfer history actually. So Scott McKellar went. We offered him more, couldn't keep him. Callum Waters went. Callum McFadden went, and Chris O'Neill's went. So 4 big players actually went this summer, and you know, I don't know a lot of these guys to how they've brought into the place. Morgan Neal's a name I recognise. but I suspect I actually had a read-in with his name a couple of FMs ago. So that's 4 big players that have gone. They're 5th in League 1, so definitely fallen a little bit. And while we're kicking about and looking at former teams, obviously we can't look at Mersin because they are no longer in the game. Well, they aren't in the game, but I removed them. Let's have a look at Pogon Sidolca. Let's have a look at their transfer business. I remember they did have a big one yet. There you go, Daniel Choros, a player who was on my fringes, sold for big money. Any other names that we recognise that were sort of big players for us? Not really. All I'm just sort of going on loan, and a couple of players. Zainel was my goalkeeper actually, I remember him. He's going to SV Horn for a little bit of money. Oh, who have they all brought in? This guy I remember be looking quite good because I did look at them. And I remember thinking I would have signed him if I knew about him. Looks absolutely monstrous, needs to work on his positioning, but it should be good for the level that it currently. But what's their team looking like? So they've still got Trailer. Was it Trailer? It was actually. I played Trailer last season, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Not the other goalkeeper, he was the guy that was near. Gervanda still on international duty. They've got a couple of internationals actually now. Pawlowski's still about. Pavlanovic is still about. Tapuric still about, but he's listed actually, which is interesting. They've also decided to go for 1 striker formation, and this guy's beating them all to that. So it looks like they've improved the squad, but they're sitting 9th since being relegated, which is really not ideal, which maybe vindicates my decision to just run when I could. Anyway guys, I will be back for that 4 game in about a month's time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.